Hey, loves.
Welcome to Sierra and Ryan.
Talk the talk. Sierra and Ryan Talk the Talk is all about putting book talkers like you at the center of the story.
And we're here to find out all of their main character moments. We'll start with the two of us. My name is Ryan at Rye_Brary on TikTok. And my incredible co-host is...
Sierra at cc.b.reading on TikTok as well. We are both book talkers who are a part of this amazing community, and the purpose of this podcast is just so that we can meet other book talkers and learn more about their personalities and just things that make them all around amazing.
1,000%. Selfishly, we're also here to just officially meet all the friends in our head.
Yes.
And today is one of my oldest friends in my head on Book Talk, at Sarah's Reads, who...
She's so freaking cute.
I have the biggest friend crush, girl crush. I want to go on double dates with her and her boyfriend. She crafts. I'm going to ask, you'll hear it again. I am going to ask her about these incredible dates and gifts for his birthday and Christmas. Just unreal. Such an interesting person. I found out through DMing that Sarah does social media management. So,
Ooh.
Not that I'm going to ask for a report card, but I might be like, hey, how are we doing?
How are we doing? She's an F. I'm like, oh no, not an F. She's so cute. She's so cute with that red hair. And she's just so adorable. She's so adorable.
Porcelain skin, gorgeous brows. The voice is velvet and butter. It's and honestly, has a lot of really interesting recs, and sometimes ones that I might not read. So House of Sky and Breath. Yeah. I just watched, she had 5 videos, and I just watched through listening to all of hers. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I feel like I read the book. It's all good.
She has a completely different reading. What she's reading is completely different from what I am. So I'm very just interested to see, it seems like she likes a lot of fantasy, high fantasy maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm so interested to talk to her. I've never talked to her before, so this is going to be new for me. So I'm going to have a new friend. I'm excited.
It's really good. I'm excited too. I'm interested to see what the show and tell will be.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think it'll be something good.
Our guest is here. Do we think we're ready to talk?
I think we should have a talk.
Welcome back. We are with the incredible Sarah's Reads. Welcome, Sarah.
God. Hi, hello. I am so nervous. You wouldn't believe.
I'm nervous to have you because I feel like this is our first official friend date, so I don't want to fuck it up.
It really is. Yeah, it really is.
Excited. First of all, that hair. It looks so luscious.
Oh my God, thank you. I washed it especially for you guys. It's
giving shine. It's giving bounce. Yes.
Thanks for noticing.
Looks so good.
Sarah, you are broadcasting in live from London.
I am. Yeah. Hello.
Thank you for being one of our international guests. This is where we feel honored.
Yes.
A little rundown, and I want to say from the time that we secured your interview to now, your followers have gone through the roof, but you're now at 12.8 thousand.
I am. It's wild. No, it's absolutely wild. I don't know how it's all happened, and it was never my intention to grow an audience. So the fact that we're here at 12.8, I'm how I try not to think about it. I think if I dwell on it, I'll have some sort of existential crisis. Do you know what I mean? So I just don't really think of it too often. But yeah, it is wild.
Was there a recent video that started to kind of pop off that you felt really started to gain some traction?
So I think the first video I ever had that went viral was actually what I bought my boyfriend for his birthday. We're both we're proper nerds. We love anything geeky and fictional university and that sort of thing. And I don't really know why I filmed it. I think maybe I just thought it was interesting. And then suddenly a lot of people were watching it, and it was really quite wild. It was also my first experience of being on mainstream TikToks for you pages, or I call it straight TikTok. That's probably not the best way to call it, but there was some comments where I was just okay, wow, this is my first experience of I guess trolls in a way.
Yes.
And then I think I did a few more of those, and like sort of similar, like people just like seeing like nerdy home things, and like, you know, just I think people are nosy. Like I'm very nosy, so I think like that's kind of what, you know, what really made it take off. And then I guess here I am now. I actually had like a proper bookish video go viral recently. So that was like my first, like, okay, this is bookish, like this is book talk, this is one of my first like sort of book talk, I guess, successes. So yeah, it's always like weird and wonderful whatever like does well and what not does well. Like I haven't worked it out basically.
It's harder to go viral on in the book talk circle than it is like in like the whole aspect of the app. So congrats to you. I've never gone viral in book talk. I've gone.
But like it's such a hard one, and sometimes you spend ages on videos and you think, oh, this is gonna do so well, so well. I put so much time into this, and then you post it and it's just this like crickets, like nothing.
All the time. Yep. All the time.
Honestly, and it's like the videos you think will flop that will do well, and you just it's so weird and wonderful. Yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan.
As we were like, we're not gonna cut each other.
Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead. Go.
I said I was getting better. I'm not. I'm too excited that you're here. That's why. I was going to ask, so as you see what videos do well and what don't, how does your professional work and that kind of mindset of social media management, how does that come into play?
So I guess this year is like the first year where I've been like, okay, actually like strategize. Like I have the knowledge from what I do. So I'm a talent manager, but I specialize in like digital creators and social influencers. So it is like basically it's my 9 to 5. And I've never really, I think when I started, I just had no intention of growing or anything. I just wanted to document my reading. That's all I wanted to do. And if you go back, it's literally just like me holding up a book. And I do a voiceover of like what I think, and it's not good content. Like it's not good content. And it's still up. I've never taken anything down. And that's like all it was. And I didn't put my face in it. Like I wanted to be very anonymous. And then I guess this year, now that I've seen kind of like the success of last year, I was like, okay, maybe like let's actually think about this. So I think I try not to strategize too much because I just think I don't want to take the enjoyment out of it. I don't want to be like, I don't want to get too focused on like the numbers and all that sort of stuff. But I think, you know, I have thought about like, okay, what's done well and what do people like to see? And like, but it's, as I say, it's still so like unpredictable where like I can apply all the knowledge ever and the algorithm's just not going to have it. So it's hard to kind of like separate the two things, but I think I'm in a pretty good sort of like balance, like space at the minute with it, like with both sides of sort of my work and my personal life. But yeah, Sarah's Reads is like, it's a ride. Like it is it's such an unexpected journey.
I know you said that you didn't want to focus on the numbers, but I mean, having 12,000 followers is it's no small feat. It's no small.
Honestly, I can't believe that people mention it to me at work, and I remember I've just now turned it off, but I've turned that setting off where your contacts can like whether they get shown your videos. Oh my god, what is that?
I don't like it. I turned it off immediately.
I didn't know it was a thing, and then I came across it, and I was like, oh no, that makes so much sense. Why people have been finding me because it's been showing my content to people. I was so like, no, like that's not. I wanted to be anonymous, you know. Like, I wanted it to be like a Hannah Montana type situation. I didn't want people to know. And now, like, TikTok's just been there serving my content to people, you know. Oh, terrible. Terrible. Even now when someone mentions it at work or something, or just in my personal life, I'm like, yeah, like, ooh, I don't really want to talk about it. Do you know what I mean? But I do. Like, it's a great thing, but I'm still a bit like, oh, it's weird to, like, champion yourself in that sort of way. I just don't like doing it. So I'm like, no, it's nothing. Yeah.
With having that amount of followers, have you had publishers or people reach out to you for maybe indie readings or indie reviews, things like that? Has that been helpful for you?
So recently I've had a few like that, and I've also learned that I can do that. So I can go and like request like advanced reader copies. And I remember like I had no idea that was a thing. And then I think I saw someone make a video about like, oh, here's how to like structure the email, like here's how to outreach. And I was like, oh my God, like I can be doing that. And I've done that in like the past week, and I've had people come back to me, and I'm like, as if I could have been this whole time like emailing, but for like books, so you know, that I've pre-ordered anyway, or that I'm really excited to come out, I could have just been there like requesting those things, and it's so wild that people are actually gonna like give me that. I mean, obviously I'm not gonna get everyone, like, don't get me wrong, I've definitely been declined for some things on NetGalley so far, which is humbling. Which is humbling. You're like, what is it about me? But also my like feedback rate on there is terrible, so that's probably it. But like it's so weird that we can do that. Like it's weird to think that just by me standing here like in my office in front of my bookshelves recording some videos, that I can then request like things from like my favorite authors. Like that's insane. Like, and you guys must feel that exact same way. Like,
I mean, it is strange having people reach out to me. I'm still getting used to that. People reaching out to me and finding my email and like, hey, Sierra. And then they're like putting their whole, like, here's this book I want you to read. And I'm like, well, me? It feels very strange. It's very, very weird. But I saw that you got a PR package for The Maid, which came with like cleaning equipment.
Oh my God.
Please, I saw your video and I was like, oh, first of all, I'm jealous. Okay,
that was a moment. That was like, so, I've never had like any book mail before, and when they got in touch, I was like, oh my God, like, yes, absolutely. Like, cleaning, I love cleaning. Like, I mean, I don't know really where it came from, because as a teenager I did not like cleaning, but now in like my adult life I love cleaning. And so when they were like, yeah, we want to like marry like Clean Talk and Book Talk, I was like, yes, I'll clean my bookshelves for you. Like, let me know what you want me to do. Like, I'll do that, you know. And that's mad. Like, that is just so like, I try not to think, because I think the imposter syndrome will like definitely like, it will creep in, and I do struggle with that in like other aspects of my life. And I think I do feel like that even now. I'm like, oh my God, how am I on this podcast? Like, how am I like, it's crazy. Yeah, it is.
Speaking of those incredible shelves, I do think that we need to talk about prints and blots. Maybe?
I couldn't wait to talk about this.
Really?
Because I need
oh my God.
Sierra's we're both about to order the current reading, and
yeah,
we've got that. So for our listeners, viewers, Sarah's boyfriend is a 3D printer and creates all of these incredible tools to like line up your books perfectly. And as a Virgo, talk about clean talk, that push and that snap of those books was so satisfying in that video. I was like, damn, that is good. How did he start doing that, and has it taken off since you've been promoting it?
Yeah, you know what? Like, I was going to talk about that, but then I was like, it's not very like visual. But then actually, I think it is so like relevant, because it came from Book Talk. So he has a 3D printer, and he was just like 3D printing things for like around the home. And I remember when he got it, I was like, what are you gonna make? Like what are you gonna make that you can't buy? Do you know what I mean? Like, I just couldn't really see the need for like and it's massive, and I just couldn't really see the need for like that sitting in our office cupboard. Do you know what I mean? But then anyway, I was like organizing my bookshelves, and like I've got quite deep bookshelves, and I don't like it when they go all the way to the back, so it just doesn't look very nice. But then at the same time, it's hard to like get them like aligned and organized. So I asked him if he could 3D print me like a giant ruler, because like the thing is, you can get them straight, don't get me wrong, but getting them the same distance is really hard. So I was like, can you just 3D print me a giant ruler that's like the width of my shelves? And he was like, well, I'm not going to do that, but I will do something else. And then I made a video again, like it was one of those ones I thought no one's gonna care about this, but like I'm just gonna show you, like, and it was a real like rough prototype or whatever, and he'd even put my handle on it, which is really cute, put @Sarah's Reads on it. And I made it, and I thought, okay, like, this is, no one's really going to care about, I'm just going to make it anyway. It was a bit braggy, if I'm honest, like, being like, oh, look what he made me, do you know what I mean? And then it just started to take off, and it just kept, like, gaining traction, and then suddenly, like, everyone was like, does he sell them? He should sell them. And I think he hadn't even really thought about it. Like, it was never any intent of, like, I'm going to make you this, you show this, like, hopefully we'll get people. There was nothing like that at all. And then actually, I think maybe a week later, he, like, launched his Prints and Blots, which is, like, a pun on Flourishing Blots from Harry Potter. I came up with it. And then here we are, like, and he's got, I know, and he's got, like, a little, you know, he's got a small business now, and, like, and he's made other things, and, like, it's so, that is, like, the power of Book Talk, that was even possible, do you know what I mean? Like, that, that is crazy. Like, that is just, yeah.
I was going to say that, you know, I talk to a lot of people about, like, I'm not a social media manager, but I do talk to people about social media. I have, like, other things I do on the side. And I was telling them, like, how Book Talk or TikTok in general is just, like, a really great place to throw something out there and see if it sticks. And in that instance, that was, you said it was a prototype. And then he started a business from there. Like, that's amazing.
Honestly, and he's shipped to like Australia, the US, like, you know, like all over the world. And I'm like, as if that's happened, and that all happened from you making me that one thing and me making a video about it and thinking nothing of it. There's even like typos in it and everything. It really annoys me, you know, like I just didn't really think about it. I just like posted it, you know, and then here it is. And like, you know, other book talkers have like featured it, and they've got, you know, they've gained, I think it's quite an interesting thing to like watch. And I also think you get the people that are like, oh, just use your hands, or just use like whatever. Like, well, my hands aren't straight. But like, I think it always does, like, it always gets people like trolling basically. But also some people are like, amazing, love it, I want that. So yeah.
So good.
It's insane.
I want to talk about, what is your boyfriend's name, may we ask?
Cam.
Cam. Okay. So I was going to say, we're probably going to mention Cam a couple times, but
Yeah, go for it.
speaking back to your initial about the dates that went viral, or the gifts, I told C that I am like ready for a double date and ready to go out, and my love language is gifting. And so when I saw that video at first, I was like, damn, Sarah has me like cornered in that. It was so impressive. Is that generally, has that always been your love language, or do you love gifting?
I think as I've gotten older, like I love shopping for other people, and especially for Cam, because he is just a massive nerd. And I think as well, like it's so easy to find like really like nerdy but useless stuff. Like it's just like tat, like I'd call it. It's just tat. Like it's nothing. You're gonna look at it for like 5 minutes, and then you know you're never gonna look at it again. You're never gonna use it again. So I like finding nerdy things that are actually useful, or like, you know, nice, I suppose. They're not just like, it's you know, what you think of sometimes when you think of like certain sort of fictional universes, like in their merch, you know, it's like a bit like Disney, like when you think of like the sort of tees that people wear to Disney, and they're like, you know, it's just all the like the cliches, and like the dads always wear one, and it's always like dad's money and all this kind of stuff. And I think there's, you know, so much merch out there that's like that, but actually like you can find some really, really cool stuff from like incredibly talented people. And I just love finding it. I love shopping. Honestly, all my money goes on Etsy. I can spend like, oh no, it's too much. But I just love it, and because it's for someone else, I'm like, well, it's fine. And then also I can buy him things that then I can use. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit like I'm sort of buying things for myself. But and I'm pretty sure someone commented that as well. They were like, is that even for him, or is it for you? And it's like, well, actually, if I'm honest.
Right.
2 birds with 1 stone, thank you.
Exactly.
I kind of want to circle back because you said something about trolls. And so when I was doing some research, I saw that you had a video saying how you didn't think the final season of Game of Thrones was that bad.
Yes.
This is a very hot topic.
Yeah, I really, you know what? I'm glad we've come on to this. I really am, because I was on one of my, like, maybe I can bring it up things, but, like, I just don't think it was that bad. And I think the internet, just the way people reacted to it, and the petition to remake it, as if that was ever going to happen. No. Oh my God. Like, do you know what goes into that? I mean, I don't even know what goes into that, but it's not just a case of like, oh, you know what, guys, let's just go back and remake it. It's so much bigger than that. And the entitlement, do you know what I mean? Like, and I think with something like Game of Thrones, there's so many moving parts whereby like there was never going to be an ending that everyone was happy with. And I think people reacted so like irrationally. I mean, obviously, who am I to say that? But I rewatched it last year. I did a full rewatch last year. And when you know what's coming, you stop sort of asking questions, and you stop like theorizing and stuff like that. So you just enjoy it a lot more, because you're not like, oh, what about blah, blah, blah. So you're not constantly like, your mind's not working at like 100 miles per hour. You can actually sit there and enjoy it for what it is. And it's really not that bad. Like, it's not.
Sarah, I don't know if I'm going to be... Okay, listen.
Okay, I'm on Sarah's side. I didn't think it was that bad either. I didn't. The only thing that I was pissed about is
out
that
in these situations. Always the odd one out.
The man with no face, I wanted that. I was like, I felt like I needed a little bit of a ending on that piece. That was kind of like... I'm like, where are you, Rhaegar? Wait. What happened?
Yeah.
But that was the only... I didn't really mind about, you know, a lot of people hated Cersei's... Spoilers, Cersei's death, and I kind of none of that.
I mean, I do
bothered
agree.
me.
Like it was. I do agree with stuff like that, because it's like, of all the ways she could die, like, did it have to be that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, did it have, like, that was such a...
I wanted her to get stabbed or something. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I did, because she was so wicked the entire show. For me, I think what it was like, I definitely understand your opinion on like entitlement, because people were talking crazy when that final season was out. It was like, okay, it's like, all right, guys, like let's calm down a bit. But I think it was like people were so invested. It was very interesting because at that point, I think a lot of people who had even read the books, like myself, we were like fully invested in this show at this point. And so you're kind of expecting like the people at the end, like Cersei and I'm drawing blanks now, but they're going to get their comeuppance, right? And I guess it was such a letdown in that sense that people really didn't know how to maybe vocalize that. So they took it out on other things. But I've been fearful to watch the show all over again.
Yeah,
because
I was too.
I don't know if I can handle it, but Sarah, you might have changed my mind. I don't know yet. I'm still on the fence about this.
It took me a while. It took me a while to come around to the idea of it. I like wouldn't rewatch the last season. I was like, no, I can't. I'm just not going to rewatch any of it. And then we just did it, I think, because it was lockdown. So we were like, well, what else to do? And I really enjoyed it. Like I did. I think you should just do it. I do.
Okay. I'll let you know if I do.
Thanks.
I do. I will tag you in a video like, Sarah,
oh my God,
me into doing this.
Honestly, like when you go back, it's so like one of the things I think people took issue with was like Daenerys and how she went from like 0 to 100 with madness. But no. That girl moves mad in every single season. She moves mad. Like
True.
This is true.
like she really does some questionable things like basically at the end of every season. And actually I don't think it comes like, I think I could see that happening. Like I'm not surprised, you know what I mean? But yeah.
Oh God.
Recommend.
And see the making of special made me actually really like it more. It was, I love all that kind of production stuff and the costumes and the makeup, and they had all these for the final battle scene. They had all these like dummy bodies and stuff, and just the amount of work that went in, I think would make you appreciate too. Sierra's like,
No, I'm really, I'm listening with intent. I promise. I'm really interested because I'm always like interested to know like everyone's opinions on these kinds of things because they're just such big hot topics. So I'm gonna try and watch it, and I'll look at the making of documentary. But I'm nervous, I'm just, I don't know.
Well, we know that you'll give your honest opinion, so Sarah and I will be. Sarah, outside of Book Talk and taking Cam on incredible dates and excursions, what do you love to do in your free time?
I love restaurants. Like I'm a big foodie. I love them. And I love like finding different restaurants in London. Like I have a whole like spreadsheet of basically everywhere I've been for the past few years. I know it's actually a bit OTT if I'm honest. But like I have it like filtered so I can search it and everything. Like I think it's a masterpiece, but it is also like a bit too much. But I love it. I love like I just love it. I love like I love trying new places, and I love recommending things to people. Like honestly, when people ask me for recommendations, be that on like anything, I mean my mind usually draws a blank, and I usually like give them like absolutely nothing. But like I do love it. Like I love people. I love that. I love people asking me about that. So like, yeah, food and restaurants, definitely one of them.
What made you decide to create a spreadsheet? That's just such a random thing.
No, so
a Libra,
basically,
but probably a rising Virgo. Okay.
Yeah. I actually am.
That's why I see. This is. Do you see it?
I see it now.
I actually am. So it actually makes a whole lot of sense. I just had a note on my phone of like everywhere, just the name and like what I thought of, like something like a rating out of 10 or something. And then one day I was like, why don't I use Notion a lot, which is like a different Notion. See, I've got something on Notion for it. See, it's just, and I could just build it in like a little table, and I did, because people would ask me a lot where do you recommend for this, or like, or what restaurants here or whatever. so I made it, and now like it's a Notion thing. See, now you're a bit more like, okay, I get that now.
I know.
And the cleaning, and the bookshelf
kind of
organization. I
brilliant.
get it.
Yeah. See, we've come around.
You
Like,
could make that a blog and share it in your link tree or whatever, and
Yes.
people click it. Yeah.
I have thought about it. Yeah, I have thought about it. I love it. I'm like, come to me for food recs, honestly.
Yes. Now I'm expecting you to travel the world and just fill up that list. No pressure, though. No pressure. No pressure.
Oh my gosh. Sarah, how often do you see? I saw the one video, and I will be traveling to Europe, to south of France in summer, but I saw you hop on the Eurostar,
Oh,
which is like that, like really bullet train to Paris. How often do you use it? What's it like?
I think that
Tell
was
our
the
poor
third
American
time.
asses everything.
Yeah. Oh my. I mean, the fact that it's like next door to us. Like my mum had never been. The last time I went was with my mum, and I was like, how have you not gone? Like when it's quite literally there, and you can get a train. But yeah, the Eurostar, like, I mean, it's a perk of London. I have to say, like, it's a perk. I've been on it, I think, 3 times. And it is quite remarkable. Like I always get when I travel, when I come back, I'm like, it always sort of blows my mind where I'm like, I was in a different country like X amount of hours ago. Like I get it particularly from the US because, you know, you can be back in like 9-10 hours, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh my God, I was just in another country. Like, isn't that insane? Wow. Like that you can do that. Like I'm actually going to America at the end of this month. So I'm going to have that same, thing.
Are you going to New York? You going to LA?
So I'm going to Orlando.
Oh,
for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Basically just doing Universal and Disney for 2 weeks.
Yeah, cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. Orlando's awesome too.
Are you going to do
I know.
Galaxy's Edge?
We are going to do Galaxy's Edge. We've done it once before. We are going to do it, and I'm going to build my own lightsaber. So I am I'm very hyped for that.
We will look forward to all that content.
Yes.
Live vicariously through you.
I've never seen Star Wars, but I do want a lightsaber. Ryan is disappointed.
How are you and Ryan friends? I don't. How does that work if you haven't seen Star Wars?
TikTok. TikTok is how we're friends. Okay. He jumped in without knowing everything, and now he's stuck. You know, he's stuck.
We're making moves, okay?
We are. I'm working on
you
it.
are.
I'm working on it. Okay. I'm not perfect. With that being said, is it time for us to do show and tell, Ryan?
I think it is show and tell time.
I'm
excited to see what the show and tell is.
Me
I'm
too.
very curious.
So every episode we ask our guests to bring on something, either book or whatever it is that represents them that they really enjoy or maybe that they really hate.
Yeah.
You know? So what is your show and tell for today?
So I have thought long and hard about this, and I really didn't. I was going to be Prince and Blots, but then I was like, oh, I don't really know. And then I thought, like, okay, I can do a book recommendation, but I'm so basic. I always say I'm a basic book top bitch, and then there's no chance I'm recommending something you haven't seen before. Do you know what I mean? Like I read a lot of like mainstream book talk stuff, so I was like, okay, like, and also my recall wasn't that good, so I was like, can I really like sit here and talk about books? So I was like, okay, maybe not. So I have like 2 options for this. One does not fit the brief at all and is quite chaotic. The other one is like actually fits the brief, a lot more sentimental, a lot more nice. So I don't know which one
I
to
say
go
we
for.
take them both. We love
Yeah?
chaos. And
I do. I was gonna say chaos, but that's just me in general. So yeah, let's do both.
Oh my God. Okay, so I can't even take credit for this because I went to Jonathan Van Ness. I went to their show in London in February, and this came. Oh my God, it was the most amazing show. And they went on so many like sidebars and tangents, and they just kept going off set and kept apologizing to their team like backstage, being like, just give me like 2 minutes to go on this tangent. It was like having a conversation. Like it was so good. Anyway, one of the things they recommended was a TV show called Alone, and I had never heard of it. And actually, when they asked like who here has heard of it, like pretty much there was 1 or 2 people that maybe made a noise, but like it's not very accessible here in the UK. So that probably explains that. And then anyway, me and my boyfriend Cam, we couldn't decide what to watch the other night. So we were like, why don't we give Alone? Like, why don't we give that a go? We'll find it. We'll give it a go. So it is a US show. It's like a survivalist show. And basically the season that I'm watching, season 7, 10 people get dropped in the Arctic separately, so they're not with each other, get dropped in the Arctic with like clothes that they're wearing, some supplies and some tools, and they have to survive for 100 days. And if they do, they get $1 million. Now, like, it's like reality, but then it's also like a nature documentary, because you do get to see like quite a lot of the Arctic, and then it's also like they become quite unhinged, because obviously they're in the Arctic on their own trying to survive, and at some points it's like really gripping, like, you know, there's like wolves, and they film it all themselves, right? So they film it all themselves, so they set like multiple cameras up for like when they're going about their day, but they've obviously got to like find food, they've got to build a shelter, and they've got to survive basically. And like there's bears, there's wolves, there's like little wolverines, which I didn't know I didn't know they were an actual animal.
Oh, real Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine. Yeah, a legitimate little like
a subsect of a wolf, maybe ish.
It's like I would call it like a beaver, but like ferocious. Like it's like very small, but like claws, everything. And you just watch them like surviving. And I think so far they're maybe like 50 days in, and like a few have had to leave, but like there's still like quite a few people, and it's so. Like, it's just so, and you're sat there being so critical at home, like a bit like when we watch like Bake Off, for instance, like the Great British Bake Off, like we sit there, I can't bake to save my life, but I sit there and I'm like, oh, that looks that's a bit rushed, isn't it? Or like, that was a bad choice, or like, oh, those flavours going to go together. And then you do that with alone, because you're like, oh, that shelter doesn't look good, you know? I mean, like, you sit there and you're so judgy, and you're like, oh, I don't know why they've done that. But I mean, meanwhile, I couldn't survive like 20 minutes. Right. Like I would never, like, no amount of money would get me to be in the Arctic alone.
So they're like all on like one island or wherever, but they're all alone and separately in this.
Yes.
Oh.
So they're around I think it's called like the Great Slave Lake in North America, which is huge, and they're all dropped off at like different points. So I don't think they're ever going to meet one another. Okay. I don't think they'll ever. So they're completely like on their own, and they film all their own stuff. And I think they must do some sort of like camera exchange where they like hand off like some of the footage and whatnot. But like they're just there filming, and like they, you know, you go a bit mad, because like you're on your own. I talk to myself anyway. But if I was in the Arctic alone, first of all, like the paranoia, the fear, the like, I don't know how they like sleep, any of it. I would know.
Okay, I'm
it's
interested.
A big no.
Like, because I love Survivor, so
I was gonna say we're a Survivor house, so I'd be in.
Honestly, give it a go. Like I didn't think it would be my thing either until JVN like said it, and even then I was like, I think we saw JVN in like February, and we didn't start watching it until like literally last week, so we took a while, but now that I've seen it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I totally get it. Like, I get it.
Have you watched 7 seasons in 1 week? Is that what
No.
Okay, I was like, wow,
No.
You guys were not kidding.
No, we haven't. So we started on season 7 mostly because they're all different, and they all get like, you don't need to watch all of them, and I think this one was like the Arctic one, so I was like, let's just go for that one. But there are other seasons that we need to catch up on, so
got it.
I'm hooked. I'm set for a while, basically.
It'd be good
Okay, I'll
if
have to find
JVN suggested, and what an interesting, when you think about Jonathan Van Ness, what an interesting.
No, they said like they got them through the pandemic, and I see that, because I would, it's one of those things you just sit there and watch like continuously. And I mean, like, when there was nothing else to do, you know, I think we all needed shows like that, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Wow.
That's good.
Thanks for putting up with my really unhinged recommendation, but
I love it.
There you go. And then the other thing I thought, okay, like actually answers the brief is like the necklace that I wear every day. So it's going to be kind of like shocking show and tell, because obviously I'm like all the way back here, but it's got 3 little pendants on it. The first one is like a little Disney castle, Disney adult, like I think it's pretty much a given for me. I don't think that's like needs much of an explanation, if I'm honest. And then the next thing is this little grape soda badge from the Disney movie Up. So it's one of my favorite Disney films. Whenever we've gone to Disney and we've gone to like a Halloween party, we've dressed as Carl and Ellie, as the couple from it. So like, and it's just really cute. And I think I'm pretty sure Cam got me it when we were there last. So I always wear that around my neck. And then this one is actually bookish. And it says, "None of us is fucking up like we think we are," which is a quote from one of my favorite authors, Laura Jane Williams. And she puts it into all of her books somewhere. And yeah, it's "None of us is fucking up like we think we are." And what I love is that when people are close to me, they can see that it's got writing on it, and they're always like, "What does that say?" And I think they always think it's like really going to be like sentimental, like some like really cute quote. And I'm like, yeah, none of us is fucking up like we think we are. And they're like, whoa. It got deep real quick.
I love that though.
Yeah,
I love it too.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
really...
like, yeah, I think it's a nice reminder. I think like as we get older, like we always do think we're not doing enough, or we're not doing like something well enough, or like whatever it may be. And I think like it is nice to actually remember that, like, yeah, none of us is, it's a good thing I can swear on this podcast that yeah, none of us is fucking up like we think we are. Yeah, I really like it.
That makes me think of the post I saw on your TikTok about the word sonder.
Yes. Oh, I love that word.
Yes.
I think I learned that there was a word because of TikTok, but I love the idea of that. Like I remember like when I didn't live in London and I used to commute to work, I used to have to get like a 40-minute train like there and back. And I remember like thinking that you see so many people either like from the train that are like outside the train or wherever at the station, or like the people that are on the train with you, and it's like you have a full life that I do not know about and will never know about. And I think that's so interesting to think that people live, 24-hour days just like we do, and we just have no idea. Like it is
All the things,
yeah. It's fascinating to me that that's a thing.
That's so awesome.
So
I love
good.
you.
Great show and tells. Those are so good.
I love you.
Oh,
I know, and that quote coming with your like stunning accent is just even.
Oh,
it makes it
stop.
even better
No,
because it would
no,
sound
no,
like.
no.
Say it one more time. Please.
Sierra's gonna
Well-
clip this out and replay it before her. It's
I
gonna
swear
be her pump
it's just
up
so
before
good
she-
because if I say it, I'm like, oh, it sounds crass. That Americans cussing, but it sounds so good. It sounds. Please, one more time. I'm begging.
what? None of us is fucking up like we think we are. That.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's so
It's so
funny that
good.
you say that.
It's so good.
Oh, so I was wondering if you'd had any other Brits actually, and I was like wondering what that was going to be like.
We've had there were two, and
Yes.
I fucked up the timing. I messed up on the schedules, but look, we recovered and we appreciate how flexible Sarah
Oh,
was.
I had no plans. Don't worry about it. Like, don't even worry about it.
Same. With that being said, I think it is time for our quick wit 10 rapid questions.
Okay, let's do it.
Ryan will take it away. You've watched the show, so you know how this goes.
Yeah, I do. Oh, I'm so sorry. Like defeated the point entirely, but yeah, I know exactly what's coming.
Look, season 1, everyone's gonna have the same, so everyone has a little advantage, and then season 2, who knows?
Yeah,
we might
you're gonna have to mix it up so people
Yeah.
like me
Oh,
don't
yeah.
come don't come prepared.
All right, so at Sarah's Reads, are you ready for some quick wit?
Yes, I'm ready. do
Morning,
it.
noon, or night?
Night. 100% easy.
Favorite book growing up or your favorite book from high school?
Looking for Alaska by John Green. I was a Tumblr girl. Yeah, I was a Tumblr girl, and it was all over Tumblr, maybe like 2013, 2014. And I think I thought I was like super cool reading it, do you know what I mean? And I remember like the pictures on Tumblr, it was always annotated or highlighted. And my copy is the only book I've ever annotated in my life. But I just did because all the girls on Tumblr were doing it, do you know what I mean? Yeah, but it was my favorite. It was.
Where are you a regular?
Probably the coffee shop by my work. Yeah.
Celeb that's a friend in your head or a celebrity crush that you have?
Celebrity crush, Tom Hiddleston. Yeah,
Yes.
Tom Hiddleston. Yes. He actually lives we both live in northwest London. I know. Seriously, I know. That's how I feel. Like that.
That is so hot. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my god. And like, you know what, he's been photographed like on the tube before, the tube that I get to work every day, and every time it goes through his station, I'm like, I look up every time to see who gets on, and it's never been Tom Hiddleston, but one day.
I hope you get to meet him
Thank
soon.
you.
Please. I'm putting
Sarah's
it into
like,
the
"Keep me
universe that you
posted."
do.
Honestly, what a man. Delightful.
If you could take us anywhere in the world tomorrow, where are we going?
I mean, it's such a given, isn't it? But it would probably be Disney. It would probably be Disney World. Yeah, it would.
I
Yeah,
haven't been in a while, so
I
that's
haven't
fine.
either. It's been
it
a very
works. It
long time.
works.
I need to.
Do you fall asleep to TV, music, or nothing?
It's usually nothing, but sometimes I do. I like rain sounds and also like city sounds. Like I love like there are so many like different like ambient like music videos on YouTube especially, and I usually do like a New York traffic or like something like I just love it. I just love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your best Halloween costume ever?
So in the UK, we just don't really go big on Halloween. Like we just don't. Oh no, it's not as much of a thing. Like I think you guys do it so well, whereas we just don't really do it. So growing up, I was always a witch. I was always a witch. And I remember when the Worst Witch TV show was a thing. Yeah. I know. I saw you talk about the book series.
I have it somewhere.
There was a TV show, yeah, low-key, there was a TV show as well, and I used to watch that, and like, so then when I was a witch, like, that made me feel good about it, but otherwise, just very basic, always.
Oh.
You'll have to come spend a Halloween here with me.
Yes.
I will.
I go all the way out.
Yes.
I will.
What is your theme song or your favorite karaoke song?
Karaoke song is usually Dance with Somebody, Whitney Houston, a classic, or Since You've Been Gone, Kelly Clarkson, depending on the vibe. Yeah, good karaoke songs.
Did you see that clip of Anne Hathaway?
Yes.
Really did well.
She did a great job.
Yes.
And Sarah, I have a feeling that you have a really pretty singing voice. Do you? Are you a good singer? She is. Yes. Yes.
I
can
actually
tell.
am. So I met my boyfriend and pretty much all of my London friends in a musical theatre choir. So that's how we met. So yeah, I do sing. Yeah, I do
Falling
sing.
deeper and deeper in love.
Oh my god, stop.
How many books have you read this year?
19.
Wow. Yeah. Last question. What was the last thing to make you smile?
I mean, the podcast. Like, look at me. I've literally not stopped smiling this entire time. The podcast, yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Us too.
I know, right?
I feel like all of your guests are gonna say that. I feel like we're all gonna come on and say that exact thing, but it's true. It's true.
We keep laughing like we swear we're not setting people up, but we will freaking take it.
Yeah. That's been a popular answer for sure, but I'm not mad. That means it's good. That means we're doing good.
Yeah.
You did it. 10 questions.
Oh
Done.
my god. Done.
Breeze through. Yes.
I was prepped. I can't lie.
Well, Sarah, give us the rundown. Where do you want people to find you on TikTok or Twitter or Instagram? Give us all the details.
Yeah. So TikTok, I'm at Sarah's Reads. There are actually so many variations of Sarah's Reads. I do think we should get together and form some sort of club. There's so many, there's all so many variations. But yeah, at Sarah's Reads. And then on Instagram, I'm way less bookish on Instagram. But if you did want to follow me there, I'm at Sarah MJF. Yeah.
Awesome. Sauce.
Thank you
Sarah.
for coming. This
Thank
has been
you.
a major highlight. I am just
Oh my god, stop.
will be swooning for the rest of my day.
Oh my god, I bet
know,
you say
this
that
is-
to all your guests.
No, I don't. Honestly,
We
Sarah,
we really don't.
this is my official petition. I really want to be your friend. I
Oh
really
my
do.
god, you already
So-
are my friend.
So next Disney trip, you let me know. I'll
Yes,
pop
100%.
down
Absolutely.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
And my
I'm
mom lives in
Europe.
Orlando, so
Does she? So you can time it. We can.
yeah, I
make
could
a
probably
thing
get
of
like
it.
free tickets. We'll talk.
Oh
after.
my god. Yeah.
Well, once he'll cut the thing and then we'll talk. So
Stunning.
say goodbye to everybody.
Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
What an incredible talk with our mutual new friend, Sarah. At
I
Sarah's
enjoyed
Reads.
that. I enjoyed that so much, friend. I really enjoyed talking to her.
I wish that it's one of those where I felt this way with Sydney too, and I mean honestly everyone, but there's a couple that it's just like, oh my gosh, I wish that we could hang up and go out right now and have lunch. Like I
Yes!
could have. I honestly wanted to walk around the snowy streets of London with Sarah and have her kind of tour us around.
I've been like, yeah, girl, pull out that Notion list of restaurants and let's pick one and let's go have some lunch.
A rising Virgo with the spreadsheet of restaurants.
Oh my
that
God, that's
really
hilarious.
gets me excited it's like too much. It's just honestly, that is like, whew. I was like, not a spreadsheet of the restaurants yet.
I know. I'm like, Now
can
this is
see
your
our
personality.
language.
You have to make this a thing now. Like I'm now expecting
Truly.
a website.
We had so many cool moments with that conversation. I think that's why too is
Mhm.
like tell us both, Rex. I want to
Ye-
hear
ye-
I want to hear both show and tells because I'm
yes.
fascinated. I loved hearing about her the videos that have kind of popped off for her and
Mm.
how she's like responding to all of that. She
Yeah.
just has such a level head, but you can tell that the aesthetic is
Hmm.
so good and so clean. You can tell that she really puts effort into
Oh
what those
yeah.
shelves look like, how they're
Yeah.
organized, how she's presented. It's just really, really clean.
It does give me like a very crisp feel. I feel like it smells like lemons in her place. I don't know why. It's giving me like fresh lemon scent. I don't know. That's why what I was thinking of in my head when I was like, it gives me like clean linen,
Yes.
fresh
Yes.
smelling. I
I do
just
agree. Maybe a little citrus, a little lavender, something,
yeah,
something
or yes,
aroma.
or
Yeah,
lavender. Yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah, lavender is it. That's
I
the
also
one.
love that I feel like, and I didn't ask, and I'm over here drinking coffee because it's still morning for us,
Yeah.
but I should have asked, are you having a proper spot of tea? Or is that, she might have had whiskey in that glass. We don't
I
know,
know,
but
right? She said she was nervous. She probably needed that to,
hey. I don't know why she was nervous. I mean, she did amazing. I
I
felt
don't
like
believe
every answer
she's a
was
pro.
like a professional.
Yeah, but
Professional.
I
Yeah,
mean, she
yeah, yeah.
also did say that she had like a lot of notes, so which I love so much. I love a prepared queen. Okay,
Let me tell you, that was good.
that was so good.
What were some of your favorites?
I honestly love talking about the Game of Thrones moment. Okay, and just hearing her perspective because honestly, that's the first time I've heard that kind of perspective in terms of people their entitlement towards the show and whatnot. So I thought she definitely gave a new voice to it, something that I hadn't heard or even thought about. So I think she may have she steered the boat a little bit turned, So
Yeah,
I really enjoyed talking about that with her. I thought that was pretty awesome to see
yeah.
her go into detail about it.
That's a tough one, and it happens so much in the Star Wars fandom.
Hmm.
There, before the new movies, the new trilogy came out, it was very much that the fandom had their image in their mind of how it should go, and sometimes it did, and then there were, the second movie came out and it was totally split down the middle and had created like a war within the fandom, and I saw the
Oh.
same things happen with Game of Thrones, so I was probably less phased by how entitled and crazy people were over it
Hmm.
because I'm like, y'all, Star Wars people have you beat tenfold, okay? They will freaking so. But I did agree with her, and I saw your face. You were like, I was waiting, like, all right, C has like by episode notes that we're gonna have to sidebar on in a separate conversation. I could see it. I was like, there's more that Sierra wants to say, but we're gonna move on to show and tell.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, I listen. I was late to the first season. I started in the second
Same.
season and immediately was enthralled in that universe. I looked I looked up I would watch videos of people talking about it. I wanted because obviously I haven't read the books, so I'm learning about what actually happened in the books. So
Yeah.
I'm invested into this show at this point. So the final season was rough for your girl. If you seen my Twitter back then, anyway,
I
let's
need to
move
scroll.
forward.
I need to scroll back.
Let's move forward.
Like
Let's
back to
just move
Sarah.
forward. Yeah. I loved that her boyfriend like ended up becoming a small business owner off of something that she just needed, like to just help, I guess, cure her little OCD for that moment, right?
Right, 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 right. No, and
And
those tools are cool. I mean, we should get them. It is a satisfying little push. You would love
oh
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I even now like some of my books aren't on the same level, and I try not to think about it too much because
When
I'm like I
Sarah
can't deal
said
with
the
that right
hand thing, I
now.
was like, oh, but
Yeah.
I was like, girl, that's what I did. And I just pile so much shit on that you can't really see how the line is. Like, I'll just put another trinket in front. Nobody will notice.
But I don't know. I think it's just so like this is the power of like TikTok of being able to just do something off the cuff, like, oh, I'm just gonna do this because I need this, and then you share it with with a you think you're just sharing it with your followers, and then all of a sudden, like, oh my god, I think I need this. Is he selling it? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that is just, I thought that was so
It's
cool.
wild. You're really good at that too. Just people, I mean, people buying suggestions from you. I think, but it is the power of TikTok. And honestly, I forgot to ask, did that 3D printing machine, was that a quarantine purchase? Was that like a
Oh,
recent? I should have asked that, but
yeah.
we know that the business is so
Yeah.
prints and blots, so cool. And
Mm.
there are, I think, like 4 or 5 different items that you can buy.
Mhm.
So I think there's like little bookends and currently reading and the little shelf thing. So
Yeah,
I thought that was
I
kind of
need that. I'm
awesome.
going again after this. I'll be heading over
We're
to
just
Princeton.
shopping our asses off today. It's
I d-
We really should have thought of this before we started asking people to show us stuff.
I know, like what?
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait a minute.
Mhm.
What about the necklace quote?
Okay, that was so cute.
That was
I
really good.
loved every little trinket on it. I
Yeah.
thought it was so cute. Everything has like a purpose and a
Yep.
sentimental value, and
Yep.
even the quote, "No one is fucking up as much as you think they are," or what. It doesn't
You're
sound
not
as good
fucking up.
coming from
You're
me. I
not
don't even
fucking
want
up
to.
as much as you think. Yeah.
It doesn't even sound good coming out of my mouth. I just love the way that she
No,
said
we
it. It
need a
was just
Brit
so
to say it.
smooth.
Yeah. It was smooth. No, I thought that was great. There's so many things too. I find it fascinating talking to her and our previous international guests just about the differences across the pond and
Hmm.
the accessibility to all of that other culture and how, I mean, there's so many different countries that are within just a couple hours. And then with that Eurostar train that I don't think we asked like exactly how quick, but I want to say it's like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah, I think
Like,
it's pretty fast. Yeah, I'm
mean,
so jealous that because we don't even have anything like that here in America.
no, where are we gonna take our trains to? I'll hop in
we,
my car and I'll drive 6 hours and come see you.
yeah, right. Right.
It's not
you
nearly
know,
as, it doesn't sound as like, Lux over
yeah, it
there.
doesn't sound very sexy, is it? Ooh, Eurostar, bullet train, like
Yeah, I know. Being in Paris tomorrow, that was really, really
that
cool.
was so
I
cool.
also like that Sarah's going to Disney and was like, you know what? I am a Disney adult, and there are things. There's so many interesting conversations with a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people being disappointed by so many different, not just Disney, but so many different entities, and it is that thing of like, can I separate out um, that thing from this moment in my life that was really important, or how sentimental I feel about this? And I think for
Yeah.
so long, Disney movies, everyone has like a favorite Disney
Hmm.
movie, I think, and one that they feel super connected to. I certainly have multiples. I've got freaking, Sleeping Beauty
Hmm.
elves or fairies above my bookshelf. So I think there's a lot of that we kind of remember the moments that we were able to like escape whatever moment in our lives through those things. And I don't think
Yeah.
that has to go away.
No.
And I think you can still hold those people even more, especially if you feel passionate about what that content was, or if you still want
Hmm.
to consume it and like live with all that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, then let's hold everyone accountable and see if we can't affect change in that way.
I think Disney adults get a really hard time, and I think that's only because they're out loud with it, right? I mean, even here yesterday when I was working, I was watching Aladdin and singing at the top of my lungs. I'm sure my neighbors were like, "Will you shut up?" I was Prince Ali. Like we don't really
Prince
lose those
Ali,
parts of
the
ourselves.
jealousy of Alibaba.
Exactly.
So good.
So good. We don't lose those parts of ourselves.
Right.
We that those moments that we had with those movies or whatever, like they meant something to us. And I think the only difference is that the Disney adults say it out loud and they're excited about it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's
No.
just nothing wrong with letting people love the things that they love,
Yep. I agree.
you
I
know?
agree. No, so that was exciting. I felt I do. I feel like really very connected to Sarah. And I was
Yeah.
telling you, one of the first people that I really started following on Book Talk and
Mhm.
really just immediately kind of felt like, oh, I feel like there's a lot of similarities. Meanwhile, I'm like probably 10 years her senior, so I'm like, oh
Oh,
God, made me
and
feel
that makes
old.
me
But we have
twirl.
so many commonalities.
Yeah. It's okay. It's
Right?
okay.
So good. We've got a lot of and I want to watch Alone.
Yeah, I've got it on my list here. I can't wait to check it out.
Sarah
I
always sounds like she's doing fun stuff, going to see JVN,
I
like
know,
hopping
which
on the
I'm
Eurostar train
jealous
to
of.
Paris. The social life that
It's
Sarah's Reeds
giving.
is living is giving all the things. I do not have that kind of social life.
Me neither.
You're
I'm like,
looking at
okay,
it. You are my
girl.
social life.
I know, right? This is our social life. Hey, hey, listeners.
So I am thankful Sarah was here. I'm jealous of all those adventures.
Yeah,
It makes me feel like, oh man, we need to go. We need to have a trip somewhere.
we do. We will not be road tripping, Ryan. Okay, I just want you
Okay,
to.
that's fine. You can fly. I'll drive somewhere. Well, actually, I'd rather go somewhere where we have to fly. Let's go. Let's hop over across the pond.
Across the pond. That's offensive.
I don't know. Well,
Is it
that's
offensive?
that's where I come from. I don't know.
You
You're like,
probably.
you do.
I mean. Okay, you know what? Let's just wrap this episode up.
We sure will.
Oh gosh.
What a
Please
great one,
make
though.
sure.
Such a fan of Sarah. And yeah,
Sarah, you're amazing. We love you.
Sarah, let me know if that was offensive in the comments. My
Please
bad.
do. Please make sure you're following us on our TikTok page. We are on TikTok at sierra.and.ryan. And remember, we're also on YouTube at sierra.and.ryan.talktok. We're also on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts. That's right.
Killed it. Yes.
Yes.
We're
So,
everywhere. And check out some fun clip outs on the TikToks. We love it.
yeah, we have bloopers up there and everything. It's a lot of fun. Great times.
I know I need to post. There's another good one I need to. I don't know if you know, but I have a funny blooper of us I need to post up.
I don't know, but okay. Bye, guys.